Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. So today we're gonna plant up the Clarence plant. I'm gonna link the video for you down below where I actually went through the plants I got in my last clearance haul. So in front of us, this is the shade area, and this is a new bed I am creating because naturally grass, nothing really grew over here, and it was like a naked spot. So I figure why not be creative and add some more shade plants over here. So in front of us we have the proven winners. These are corbels or Heuchera, and these love sun or shade. So this is shade area. We do get some sun over here but not full sun, so these plants would be perfect for this spot. And these are hardy from zones 4 through 9, and they will grow 10 to 14 inches tall, and the spacing requirement is 16 through 20 inches wide. Look at the color, and these are so pretty. So I'm trying to collect different colors in corbel. So as you can see, I have some here already. Look at the beautiful color here. And I already put these plants where I want to plant them. So I'm trying to do groups of 3, which is more pleasing to the eye. So we have 3 on this end and then 3 on this other end. And as time goes by, when I get different colors, I'll just stick them in between. All right, so let's get these plants in the ground. See, the root ball is very soft and moist. So I'm just gonna tweeze it just gently. Okay. And when you plant this, just be careful not to bury here. You want to make sure this crown is exposed just like it looks like in the pot. So just be careful when you bury this. And this one is the Lowe's brand. This is the Palace Purple Corbel. This will grow 18 to 24 inches high and 18 to 24 inches wide. Alright friends, so over here I'm gonna put this plant, Euonymus. I hope I pronounced it correctly. They come in different type. This is this type. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that word. But just a side note, if this is a Fortunae, I'll put the name on the screen for you. I know I always butcher these words. If you have the Euonymus Fortunae, keep in mind it is invasive, so you probably don't want to put that in your garden. I did some research before I purchased this plant. I do like this one. Look at this. Absolutely love this. So this will get 6 feet tall, and this was from Walmart for $10, and it loves sun or shade. I'm gonna put it right in this corner. You will not believe this zinnia right here is from the dollar store seed. I sprinkled one here and it actually grew. I was so excited about it. So I'm gonna remove this, and I have a pot just to put it in because there's a lot of blooms on it. Then I'm gonna put the Euonymus right in this spot just to give some height behind here. Okay, so let's get the one in. So I don't have my helper today, so I'm gonna try my best to plant and tape and make this a fun video. But anyway, so here it is. I took it out the container, and look what the roots look like. So I'm just gonna play with the roots a little, and just to loosen it up so that way when it goes in the ground, it can easily grow in the ground without any root rot problem. So don't be afraid when you have your clearance plant and the roots look like this. Don't be afraid to cut the roots or loosen the roots, however you want to say it. Anyway, so let's put this in the hole over there. Alright friends, so here it is. Planted it away from the wall because as it gets bigger it needs space. I don't want to crowd it too close to the wall, otherwise the air circulation is not going to be good for the plant. So that's why it's a bit further in front. And with your plants, if they get too big for you, there's nothing wrong with clipping some branches to accommodate the space. But this is gonna get really tall. I wanted this for some height behind here, And then over on this end, right in this hole, I'm gonna put a Clematis over here. I had one here, and in the spring it bloomed, and I thought it was dead, but apparently it bloomed an old wood, so I pulled it out. So that's why that's what's going on here. But I have 2 of them. I went to Lowe's and I got a second one, and they have a ton of these on clearance. Okay, a ton of them on clearance. So I got a second one I'm gonna put there, and look, this is gonna bloom also. And here's the second one. So I'm gonna replace it with this guy here. And remember, with your Clematis, they're trilling plants. So I got this trellis from Home Depot. I think it was probably $40 maybe. And this is the second year, and it stayed out in the winter, and it's still in great condition. So I'm gonna put one Clematis on this end, and then on the other end of the back of the house, I'm gonna put the other one. So I would need to get another trellis for the other one, but it gives some height behind here, so the plants are growing vertically. Let's plant this here, and with your Clematis, it likes shade, not full sun, so you don't want to put it in full sun. So it says partial sun. This obviously will come back for me. I'm trying not to do annuals. This will come back for me. This will grow 6 feet tall, 4 to 6 feet tall, and 2 to 4 feet wide, and it blooms spring and summer, and it's hardy down to -20 degrees to -30 degrees. All right, so that's a perfect spot for it. And look at the blooms on here, absolutely gorgeous. So if you have Clematis, be careful, don't do what I did. Some of them bloom on old wood and some bloom on new wood, so just leave it alone and just keep your eyes on it, okay? Don't pull it out like what I did. So I forgot to tell you, with your Clematis, make sure you plant them 1 to 2 inches in the ground. Do not bury them. They remind me of peonies. Peonies have to be planted very, very shallow, at least 2 inches, no more, otherwise they will not bloom for you. And be careful with the Clematis, it's very, very fragile. So I was trying to see if I could move it around here, but I just decided to leave it alone and just let the plant decide where it want to go, okay? Otherwise the branches will break off for you, so just be careful with that. And they love a moist soil, so I have to remember to make sure I water this in properly and keep my eyes on it. So I can't wait to see it get all the way up here. That's gonna look so pretty. And while I was over here, I noticed my peonies have some powdery mildew. So now is a good time if you see powdery mildew in your peony. Normally I see it on mine around this time. What I do, I just cut it off. You don't want to spread it on the entire plant. Just cut it off, don't worry about it. The blooms will come back next year. And then I have these wires. Normally I leave them up so that way when spring come next year, I don't have to worry about trying to make sure the peony has support. And they stay out through the winter, and they do a great job. I got them from Lowe's. Excellent job they do. Alrighty, let's walk over to the other end. So right in this spot, I'm gonna put the other Clematis here, and remember, you need a trellis for it to climb on, so I would have to get it a trellis. So meanwhile, it came with this supporting bamboo, so I'm gonna plant it with a bamboo just for now, temporary. Okay, so I think this will look really nice, and it will complement the other end over there also. All right, so here's the other Clematis. So I'm gonna look for a trellis for it to climb on, and it should be established before the end of the season. So next year the roots should be strong and we should get some blooms on it. So I have 2 more clearance plants to plant, so let's find a spot for them. All right friends, welcome to the front. It's messy, as you can see. Unfortunately, I'm gonna cut these dahlias to make bouquets with them, and I'll dig up the roots and just keep the bulbs with the stem attached to it, so it puts the energy back into the bulb for next year. But I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna put I think I'll put a Nandina in this end, and then over here I'm gonna move this whole arrangement I have here, and then I'm gonna put the rose here. Okay, So this is a narrow end, so it's kind of hard to know what to do with a narrow end. And in here I have some lilies, they already bloomed, and I have some hens and chicks, or chicks and hens. I always say it the other way around, not sure which is the correct way. But it's very always a challenge when you have narrow spaces like this. But I just don't want to be bothered having to take care of any plants or anything in the front. And right here I have this double play bank spirea. It is gorgeous. You should see it in the spring. The blooms are pink. This is a nice, beautiful shrub from proven winners for a very compact small area, just as such as this. And then here I have a hydrangea, which is perfect for this spot too. And then these I did from seed. I'll put the name on the screen for you. I don't remember what it's called, but I put some seeds in here, and voila, it looks pretty, right? And then I just have some hens and chicks here on this old vintage bird stand. I just put it in a pot here, and this stays out. So this end, I'm happy with this end, but this end I need to fix it where I don't need to be thinking what I need to do here. All right, so let's get these two last clearance plants in the ground. And then this one is a Nandina. This I got half off. This likes pot sun, and the size on this is 2 to 3 feet high and 2 to 3 feet wide, so that's perfect for this spot. And it's not hardy in zones 1 to 5, so if you live in those zones, it will not come back for you. I'm in zone 6B, so it will come back. But look at this, only $10. I love the color on this Nandina. I probably have maybe 5 or so in the garden, believe it or not, and they're all from the clearance spot. And then over here is my new rose I got. This one is the drift rose. This one would be great for container, but I've never had a rose in a container over the winter, so I'm not sure how it will do. So I'm just gonna put it in the ground. This is hardy from zones through 11, and it will grow 1.5 feet tall and 2.5 feet wide. So this is perfect for this narrow end in front here. They're both perfect for this narrow end. Alrighty, so I found a spot for this hibiscus. It's gonna get really tall. Let me go over the requirements with you. So this is from Monrovia. It was $22.98. I got it half off. This is the Starry Night, and this will get 4 to 5 feet tall and 2 to 4 feet wide. It blooms summer and fall, and it's hardy down to -30 to -20 degrees. Okay, so I found a spot here, and the blooms are spectacular. I'll just probably insert a picture for you if I still have one. But this was on clearance, and I'm trying to collect all of the hibiscus if possible, and this needs to go somewhere where it will spread out. So it's gonna go here, and there's just grass and along the edge behind here. So I'm gonna put it right at this spot so I can actually see it when I'm actually having dinner outside or just hanging outside on the patio. All right, so let's get this one planted. All right, so just wanted to show you the roots. Look at the roots on here, it's crazy. So I'm gonna cut it up so that way the roots will establish themselves in the ground. And I think this is done blooming. These are seed pods on top. And as I said, this was on clearance, so I just want to get it in the ground so it can establish itself before the first frost is here. Alright friends, so the hibiscus is in, and I left some rocks around the root from the squirrels. Anytime I plant anything fresh, you always go digging around. So I put some rocks here so they just need to mind their own business and don't touch my plant. Anyway, so here it is. It looks pretty sad, right? But don't worry, it will bounce right back. I had the roots hydrating for 2 days. And as I said to you, it is a clearance plant, and you can see there was damage here. It looks like some bugs or something was eating the plant. But it did bloom, and it bloomed probably 10 blooms I got from it, a handful of blooms I got from it. But next year, rest assured, this will be magnificent. It will be 5 to 4 or 4 to 5 feet tall, 2 to 4 feet wide. It will be gorgeous next year. Okay, so it's right here, and I just dig a hole in the ground, and I do have other plants in mind for this area. As I said before, I want to put more hardy hibiscus along here. That's why I did it like this. And I left enough space for the lawnmower to go through this strip here. That's why I don't want to bring it too close to the edge, so the lawnmower can go through here. But it's gonna look pretty. If you have grass in your yard, there's always a spot for you to put your stuff. All right, let me show you how everything else looks. All right, friends, it's been a couple of weeks since I've planted these. Look at the Nandina. Oh, I love it. You know, fall is in the air. You can see the colors on the tip. I love it. And over here is the rose. It's doing very well, as you can see, very healthy looking. And I have a bud coming up there. Very nice. And the dahlias I took out. So the plan is to get a climbing rose that will grow very, very short in terms of the width, to climb up here and go all the way up to the front. And it will climb all the way up to the top there. So that's the plan for here. So I'm on the hunt looking for a rose that would fit this area and that would climb and give it some height. And I may pull these out. I may just leave them. We'll see. But it looks so pretty in the spring and the summer. These are salvia. Look at the blooms on here. And salvia is a good companion for rose plants. So I think I might just leave it there. But I'll keep my eyes out right here for a rose plant. And this is just a pot I put there. Alright, so this, if you have a narrow space like this, you just have to be creative in what plant choices you have. You can't put something big or wide because it's not going to look good. So I think the Nandina and the small rose shrubs, I think they're perfect for this area. And then here we are. This is the spirea. This is the double play bang from Proven Winners. I love it, love it, love it, love it. You should see the blooms in the spring. Gorgeous. And then here we have a hydrangea. And this I grew from seed. I'll put the name on the screen for you. I think it's called Alyssum. So this is this narrow spot in the front that leads up to the front porch. I think it's gonna look so pretty when the rose is blooming. And I'm gonna tuck some tulips in between here for spring, so it gives it some color in the spring. And some alliums also. I'm gonna put some alliums and tulips in between here. And here's the view of the corbels that I planted. They're doing well. So it's been a couple of weeks since we planted this one. And here's a close-up. Look at the blooms on here already. Can you believe that? So as I always say, a clearance plant, don't sleep on them. Just need to give them some water and some love, and they will bounce right back for you.